Cura team, welcome back to Transport Fever 2, welcome back to Bonneyville. Thank you all for joining me. If you are joining me, do hit that like button. If you are hitting like, why not subscribe, neither of which cost you a penny. And if you want to have a look at something else like membership and super thanks and all that, be my guest. Right, anyway, here we are. So it's going to be a slightly different episode, I suppose. So this is going to be a little look at some of the problems we're having and how we might go about fixing those problems. Now, the focus from here on in is how do we get everything we need to get to these cities. Because we've got growth, we're up here, we're around about 600, but we're kind of stagnating a little bit. And we need to give ourselves a bit more of a boost if we want to try and get every city to 1,000 pop. And we're going to need to sort out goods to do that. So what we need to have a look at, possibly, is who's producing what, but also where potential bottlenecks might be. Now, before I talk about any bottleneck at all, we've got to talk about Villa de Cannes hub, because Villa de Cannes hub has so many freight lines running through it. So this is without a doubt a hub and also a bottleneck. You can see here where all these exclamation marks are means that we are not getting enough materials delivered to the hub because there isn't enough storage capacity. Now, I have already been through here and enlarged the storage capacity on the side of this hub a little bit, but honestly, it's a drop in the proverbial ocean. So, what is it that we can do and what is it that we want to do? So we've been trying to get, one of the things we're having a struggle with is tools. Now this place is doing okay now. Now that we have the electric timber trains here, we are doing okay. And you can see that these trains are now running. Is this the one coming back? Yes. Let's have a look at him and let's see where he's at. Because this one went out full. So he's carrying a full 240, and there's already more than 240 there. So in terms of these trains, that's fine. Now I should probably say that the other thing is with this, we don't. It's okay to have stuff backed up in places. Right? And this is true of things like these prime production, like logs. I mean, it just, these guys produce so much logs that we just can't deliver enough of them as a primary production thing. That's fine. That is fine. If there's a stack of logs here waiting and everybody's got everything they need, then that's great. Don't worry about it. So don't worry about that. That's not something to worry about. But we do have some issues over here. One of the big issues over here at the minute, as you can see from the state of the train station, appears to be oil. And it's oil that go to Villa de Cannes Coslada. Now, we have had issues with Villa de Cannes Coslada before. Good issues, don't get me wrong. They're good issues. So the issues that we have with Villa de Cannes Coslada, and we've got Freight 1 and Freight 2. Freight 1 has got 3 trains, and Freight 2 has 4 trains. Now, one of those trains is in very bad condition, and so on and so forth. So what that's telling me is we just aren't moving trains over to Coslada fast enough. So this is an area that is definitely ripe for a little bit of electrification. So what I'm proposing to do is I'm proposing to break out the electrification tool, which is pretty simple to use. You do have to remember to electrify the station. The Villa de Cans Coslada only comes into these two platforms, so we can electrify those pretty easily. So that's that side. You can check the catenary if you want, just to make sure. Hard to see here because there's quite a lot of smoke in the way, but I can see that there is catenary here. And I'm going to run all the way around Villa de Cans Coslada. Now, it is twin tracked all the way, so that should be fine. So this is not exciting. Then what we'll do is we'll have a look at the train. So I will be right back. Oh, wrong one. I'll be right back. Just hold on to your horses for a second. Right, I'm back. Right, we've done all that. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the situation. So the situation is that we need to shift some stuff. Now, I don't care. I don't care if this place ends up chocker for right now. Let's not worry about that. That's not a problem. The problem here at the minute is we need to get more stuff shifted out of this place, and we need to get it happening quickly. So the issue here, let's have a look. We've done the timber. Remember, the timber was causing us trouble. Now it's oil. Let's have a look at Villa de Cans Coslada Freight 1, and why we've got so much oil problem. So we've got oil, and we've got bricks that we're picking up, and we're picking up wood on the way back. So okay, that's fine. I am okay with that. Let's just have a look, just exactly how much bricks. Now the issue that I have here is I don't know how honest these numbers are, because it says 34 bricks, but as soon as we start clearing the space, you might find that you get more bricks. There's not a lot we can do about that. We need to tackle the problem we've got at hand, and the problem we've got at hand is oil. So if we go over here and we have a look, at these trains, let's have a look at what we have. What we are pulling here is 333 meter long, 312 capacity train. Now let's have a look, because we have I think that's a Coslada train. That's Tomoloso. How long is that train? That train's 356 meters long, and it's still got oodles of spare space. He's just leaving. We could fit like another 10 on there. So it's like 120 meters. So we could easily go out to 400 meters, right? So let's think about that for a start. So let's say we're going to go 400 meter trains, right? So we're going to go 400 meter trains. Now, he's bringing back logs. Do we need much more logs? I don't really think we've got a shortage of logs. It was a way of making extra money, but it's not super important to me right now. So let's say he's got to take bricks. So let's see, how much bricks does he got to take? So it's not even a primary thing for Coslada. Bricks is 116, so we need to get 116 bricks. Now, if we were to assume that we stay with 4 trains, so we're not going to add 4 trains. We're not going to add, no, we've got 3 trains. Let's say we've got room to add another train for a start. So let's say 4 trains. 4 trains. Call it 120. We could do 30 bricks each, and that would be fine. So we only need room for 30 bricks. So that's 3 carriages for bricks. So on the basis of that, we only need 3 carriages for bricks. Let's start off by getting rid of everything. So we'll get rid of everything for a restart. We'll go and we'll get our electric hauler here, the MILF class EP. So we'll get that, and we'll say that we're going to take 1, 2, 3 bricks, and the rest is going to be oil. I don't know how much that's going to work out to be, but we're aiming for 400 meters, right? So we'll keep going, and we'll keep going, and we'll keep going, and we're getting there. 403. There you go. 3 and 29. First thing to do is we'll dupe that. So that's fine. If we're going to be honestly... No, because I think we've got stuff on some of these. So what we'll do is we'll go back, and we'll make these all 3 and 29, shall we? and I will do that, and I will call you back when that is done. See you in a sec. Right. Okay. So I've let that run for a little bit, and I've let those collect some stuff, and you can already see that we've now cleared up storage. So now that we have cleared up some storage, some of these things are going to start rebalancing out because there is more storage space. Now that has highlighted a couple of things to me. The first is I need another platform here for this line. This line to Tomoloso and Kozlata is now running a heck of a lot of trains, and as you can see, we have trains coming and we have trains going, and we don't quite have enough space on this side. So what I'm gonna have to do is, this road we deleted years ago, and never got back to sorting out. This place has gotten a little quieter in terms of supplying here with crude and things. I did that intentionally, but there's still room to supply that, so we still want a hub over here. Now, what I have found out is that if you can delete this and replace it relatively quickly while the game is paused, and you put the new hub back in a very similar place, then the game will automatically reconnect everything. It's a very good feature, actually. It's one of the best. I hope they don't get rid of it. So that's a very important feature to be aware of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, and I generally do this in stages so that I don't lose things, because I found if you delete the whole platform, everything kind of vanishes. But if you do it in stages, it kind of remembers it and moves it across. So what I'm going to do is, I'll show you just to get started, but it isn't very exciting, and I'll show you the end product. I'd go through here and I pick up the delete, and it's very hard to get this to figure out where the right place to delete is, and you don't always see it. If you can see these lines pop in, you've got it, right? So you see those little transport lines showing it there where it's connected to. So the other thing is that with so much stuff here now, when I go down to configuring these stations, it gets really laggy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to delete this back, if I can, without deleting too many other things. And you'll see now that what we've got here is we've got the platform, so I need a track. I'm going to want catenary, because, sorry, that's high speed. I'm going to want catenary. It should give me an option to... Well, it doesn't matter. I'll electrify it later. So then what I do is I'll do it in a stage where I'll do a section through here, and I'll do the extra tracks. We want 2 because we're going to add another 2 platforms. So we go through, add the tracks. That's all well and good. Add the platform. I'm going with the, I think that era. Is that right? Yeah, that's correct. That's the right one. Flat and empty. So we go through here, pile that on. Come here, you. And then we go through and we get the cargo stuff. This big flat area holds the most, 96. The largest building, which I think is this one, only holds 80. So that's why I use the big flat area. And we go out, and probably best bet is start on this end so we get lined up correctly. And we go boosh. And you see, now it's carrying that cargo over, and I'm not losing it. Right? So I'm going to go through and do that, add in here, add in these lines, move this over, connect this up, connect the roads back up, and then we'll have a look at where we are, right? So I will see you very briefly. Right, okay, here we are. Here is what the finished article looks like. So I haven't connected it up down here because currently we don't need it. It's not for those guys. I haven't set the trains over. I'm just going to do that now. Pardon me. So it's pretty straightforward. So remember, I had to keep this over this end so that it automatically connects and acts as a bridge between these two. So that's fine, and I just kept it simple. Um, and the other one is has Villa de Cannes West rocks, which are the rocks from over here, which are these guys who seem to be waiting for something. So whatever something's happened on this line, possibly there's too many trucks in the way. I'm not really sure on that one. What's happening here? They're just all waiting. Something has broken somewhere, isn't working with Villa de Cannes West rocks. Another trouble that we need to fix. So added this in. You can see now that there's empty space. So we have some empty space with which to play around with. I pulled this in here. I've connected it up the same way as everybody else. This is turning into quite a fabulous bridge, by the by. And I peeled it around here and connected it. I didn't want to connect it over here. I didn't want to make this a 4-lane or a 4-rail bridge. Right now, I might want to do in the future, I don't know, but I have put it over here. We could probably do with a touch of smoothie, just right there, which is fine. We'll just smoothie some of that, and smoothie a bit of that, and make it look like it knows what it's doing. And a little bit of that, and that's fine. So what we want to do is we want to have a look, and it's Coslada Freight 1 and 2. I'm happy giving them the option of going anywhere. So we are now 7 and 8, I do believe. Oh, it's showing 7 and 8 is off because I haven't electrified the line. You're right. You're right for showing that to me. There you go. There's one side. And there's the other. Right, now it should let me do that. So we'll go down here, Coslada Freight 1 on the line. We'll go over here, and yes, 7 and 8 are on. It says could not connect. Why can it not connect? Should be able to. Should be able to. It doesn't like this line. It's having some issues with this line. What's wrong with this line? It comes in fine. Not sure I understand what the story with that one is. Did I not electrify that? I feel like I did. I feel like I have. I feel like it is. Is there a section that's not electrified, doesn't have catenary on it? It looks like everything's electrified. Oh, we've got the high speed track tool. So that's all blue. That's blue. That's all blue. We're all blue. So occasionally it does this. It's possibly to do with the fact that the train's currently somewhere else. This crossover double flip should work. That double flip should work. They're all working. And we have, pardon me, all of the necessary signals going all of the necessary ways. This is a perfectly fine crossover as far as I can tell. So I don't know what the story with that is. Coslada Freight 1. It doesn't want to connect something. Right, it seems to now suddenly like all of that. 5, 6, 7, and 8. But it's still saying that it can't connect. These are off, which is fine. What happens if I make you 8? No? 5. Why is that? Why? You can connect from here. This crossover allows you to do that. That's why I put it here, because that's what it's for. So that's weird now. And the weird thing is that even if I switch these off again, right? Okay, it doesn't like 8, doesn't like 7 either. Fine, suit yourself. What happens if I make this 8? If I make this 8 and turn those off, it doesn't mind that. That's weird. I'm not sure why it's doing that. It really can um, it really can cross over here. So it can choose at this point. I guess maybe it's too far away. It wants the connection to be over here. Let's check that. Let's check that. Let's go to Kozlata Freight 2. Kozlata Freight 2. We wanted to do that and do that. Yeah, it doesn't like it. So it doesn't like that as a choice in terms of choosing, um, which is fine. We've already put some of them on one side and some of them on the other, and we've effectively done what I wanted to do, which is separate them out. So we'll need to let that run for a bit. I will just actually put it on pause for a second. So what's happening here now? Well, we're not getting any vast amount more bricks, so that's fine. We're getting a bit more steel and a bit more tools, which is fine. And we have Reva's Freight, which wants tools. And we've got probably the next big thing looking here is Reva's Oils and Bricks, which doesn't seem to be picking up enough bricks. The rest of the stuff here looks good. These are all relatively small numbers. That said, Villa de Cansco's Ladder Freight 2. Right, so we have these things, and they're carrying a lot. 20 and 8. What are they carrying, Villa de Cansco's Ladder Freight 2? So they are carrying steel, but mainly timber. So they've been mainly carrying timber. Remember we were clearing that backlog? And some tools. So the issue with tools, I think, is fine, because what we've said here is a very small amount of tools, but we've got an imbalance in the steel side of things. Now, in principle, and I did cover this before, in principle, it's supposed to be a 50-50. One timber, one steel equals machines. So we should be able to cover some of that by managing the line. So where the line is here, if we make that 50 and 50 for those, and we'll leave that at 100%, which is fine. And it's bringing back 100% timber and 100% machines. And I think that's all fine. So what we then need to do is let's have a look at a train. Now, for the sake of the steel and timber, we have the flat car with the side stakes. Now, the issue with this, obviously, is we've just now said 50-50. So we have to have an even number. It won't cross mix. So it won't fill half a flat car with timber and the rest of the flat car with bricks. It's not how it works. It'll fill the car completely, to my knowledge. If anyone has seen it act differently, fine, but I've not seen it ever do that on console. Whether it does in PC or there's a mod for it, I have no idea. But as far as I know, it's got to be even numbers. Now, we've got 8 cars set aside for tools, or whatever it is. It's going that way. Yeah, it's tools. But that doesn't seem to be, we don't seem to need that much. to be fair. And what we've currently got here at the minute is a lot of steel and quite a bit of timber. Well, no, a lot of steel and not a lot of timber. So that's 290. If we let that run, is that stacking up very quickly? It's not. So it's not really, that demand's not really massively increasing. What's happening here? What's going on? We've got a signal failure on line 3. Right, we've got a whole load of trains that are contemplating where they're going. Right. That's probably okay. I think it's just because, remember, we're sorting out the lines. Just make sure everybody's still moving. They are. He's just going to get out of the way. Which one is this one? That's Coslada 1. Yeah, right. Okay, that's fine. They had me. I saw them out of the corner of my eye. I was like, why are you guys not going anywhere? So it's not stack. It's not moving very quickly. Is my point. So my point is, do we really need as much of this as we need in terms of these things? And I don't really think that we do. Again, we know we have 400 meters to play with, so that's fine. And we know that we want like 296. Sorry, we know that we could want as much as 296 capacity. And we were doing them with 20. I think we're going to move along a little bit faster. So I don't think we need as little as 10. That would be 60 each. If we had 14, let's say 14, right? So that will give us, blimey, 14 times 12. That'll give us something like, what is that? 48, 168. I think that's fine. And then, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is 168. Yes, go the math. And for the stuff back, currently we don't seem to need as much as 8, so we'll probably half that and just say 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's plenty of space. That's plenty of space. So that's 14 and 4. Which they'll run a bit quicker and more frequently. And what I've said to you as well is that it's not always about shifting large numbers, because the production chains seem to work better with more frequent delivery, right? There you go, doing that. So I'm going to just get on and do that. And then we'll come back and we'll have a look at the very next thing that I want to have a look at. We'll see you soon. Right, okay, so we are back. And if we have a look at the Coslada Freight 2s, so I've done all that. Now, I did briefly have a look. There is quite a backlog of machines building up here. That's okay. I don't have a major problem with that. Like I said, things are going to back up in certain locations, and we can deal with that. To be honest, the only people that really want machines are Columnar, or as I've been calling it Columnar, it's Colmenar Viejo and Palencia. So we can deal with them eventually. That's not a problem. I don't mind these backing up here for now. There's plenty of other space on these platforms. We're not going to run out of machines. I can catch that one up at some point. What I wanted to have a look at over here to clear this is, like I said, Revas, oil, and bricks. So I'm conscious that I don't want too many bricks stacking up here. So what I've been having a look at is what is this? So this relies into two things, right? So The crude is producing oil that is being stored here. Rivas is bringing oil from there over here to make money on the journey, so that it's not a wasted journey. So the brick comes over here and picks up oil, so it's carrying oil over here to make money. And we also have oil being deposited here by other trains, and here from the crude, and it's the oil that's being dropped off here that's ending up heading over here too, I believe. Isn't that right? Am I right on that? Antiquaria Villa de Cans. It's carrying crude. Right, no, so it's carrying crude. So the oil that's going here, that's going down here, that is going here to make plastics, and boy do we have a lot of plastics, is coming predominantly from Rivas. Now, we see that there's a backlog of oil, we see that there's a backlog of oil here, and we see that there's a huge amount of plastics here. So that's probably a slightly overabundant line, right? So we see also that there's a backlog of bricks. And if we go and have a look at Rivas, that's their main thing, and they're short. They're not short a lot, they're short 40-ish, right? So they're not short a vast amount, but they are short some. So I would like to clear that backlog a bit, because this is a backlog. This is not current demand. This is their backlog. So we're going to want to clear that backlog a bit. So currently, I don't need to do anything with the line, but currently we've got these 3 trains, and these 3 trains are running this configuration. Now, in terms of monetary value on these trains, they're all losing me exactly the same amount of money. That's amazing. How do they do that? They're all losing me exactly the same amount of money, and they all say they're waiting on a free path. Right? Something is very definitely gone wrong. That may explain a few things. So we have what they call a traffic jam occurring here. That explains why I'm so far in the red. So we've got a train stuck here, waiting on a train here, which is what? Waiting on a train here. We got a train coming in. We got a train in, and we got a train going out. We got a train coming in, and this is a busy junction. this is busy. Right, there's a lot going on down here. So this is what I mean about troubleshooting. When you start looking at things, you go, oh, it seems to be a bit of a problem. And then you go and have a look at what the root of the problem is. And the root of the problem is we have a lot of trains coming through here. Now, that's going to be annoying because there's a bridge here. And I like that bridge. It was a nice bridge. It's not the end of the world that I have to redo a bridge. So what's the problem? Well, here's the problem here. So we are taking oil from here, crude oil from here, and we're supplying it over here as part of the Rivas oils and bricks that we've already said, right? But we are predominantly taking crude oil from here, and we're taking the crude oil all the way up to here to drop it off for this thing, which is producing all of the oil that you see here, which is almost backlogged again, which is going to Ubeda, which is supplying both this thing and that thing, which is fine. These are all things that I need. So this hub system here is now getting awfully busy. So I don't intend to electrify. I don't intend to electrify this for right now. I don't know. These trains have obviously been sat for a while. Let me just run this and see if anybody's moving. nobody's moving, right? So that's why everyone's losing the same amount of money, because everybody's sitting going nowhere. There's a couple of other issues here in terms of track layout. So as you can see with this, we have a train that's reached a signal, but there's another train blocked by that signal. So realistically speaking, and we've got the same issue here. We've got a train that's reached a signal that's blocked by a signal. So one of the little fixes we might be able to do with this one is we can move that signal, which has freaked that train out no end, and we can put the signal in the middle between the two, right? So we can do that, and there's a signal here that needs to be deleted, that one. So if we do that, one of those trains is going to move, right? This train is now going to move because that signal was clearly not helping. And probably, to be fair, if I pause, there's a signal here doing the same problem. So we move that one, and we say, right, that was a problem signal. That said, it doesn't need to go far. I think it probably needs to go there to capture the full length, right? So that moves that. What's this guy waiting on? He's waiting on something. Because there's a crossover here. See this crossover? Because there's a crossover here, but there's no signal, I think what it does is it looks at the next signal along that track, which is there. So I reckon when this train clears that, he's going to move. Yeah, okay. So my question then is, oh, I just want to check the length of this signal. Wow, it's a long train. That signal is not in the right place, right? So we've got that jeepers, that's a long train. Right, I'm gonna need to move this signal here because that's just crazy. Right, I see my signals have changed. He needs to come all the way out to here. That's where the end of this line is. So he needs to go all the way out to there. And if he does, he should clear this. Yes, so he's cleared that junction by going down there, right? That frees up this guy. This guy's cool. That's the in signal. That's the out signal. That's an in signal. That's an out signal. They should all be good. He's got an incoming signal, but his next incoming signal's not until there. That's probably about right. He's a very long train. But it seems to me that all you see is violence and movies and sex on TV. Why is this unbalanced? We got a whole load of people on platform 1 and nobody on platform 2. Could we move you to platform 2? And that's a 2 and a 1 and a 3. So Reva's Oils and Bricks is going to 3, which is what that crossover is about. That's not the best place for it anymore. It may have been in the past, but actually the best place for that is now line 2. So that will be the better place for that, because then they don't actually need to cross over. It's oh no, he does need to cross over. And the reason that he needs to cross over is because he's leaving that platform to go here. Ah, that's right. That's why that's there. So this one needs to be platform 3, which is why this crossover junction exists at least one way. I don't know why we need the other way. So this signal is not fully in the right place. that can go right up to the junction edge here. This signal can't be here. This signal is fully in the wrong place, because if we get a train stuck there, then they're gonna block that whole system. Now, I can't put a signal there because we also have this crossover happening. Um, and I don't really understand why we have that crossover happening. Why do we have that crossover happening? Who's going that way? Literally nobody. So literally Mr. Nobody's going that way. So that is fine. This crossover can go away. So we'll get rid of that. There's that. So it didn't like that. So then we have, let's have a look at the signals. We have a signal coming out. Yeah, if you put it there, it's a bit crazy, isn't it? So it's this Y. That's as early into the Y as I can put that crossover. Thinking. I definitely need that signal to go away. So where's the next best signal? The next best signal is all the way out there. That is probably the best place for it, but that's going to create quite a delay, because the train's going to come out here. No, it's only for trains coming on this track. So the train on this track comes out. If we put a signal there, it'll temporarily block it, but it at least gives us the option of getting a train here. So it will clear something. Then it will pass through there. Then it will go to that signal. That's probably okay. Reva's bricks comes in. So then the only other thing we have is we have this line that's heading out. So that is we have the yellow, I think, and the blue. Nobody's coming in on that other line, you see. I put that there, but no one's actually using it. Who's yellow and blue? These people. You say, I can't shift enough oil. It doesn't matter. That's fine. Can't shift enough oil. It's not like we're going to be putting anything else here. So Reva's Ubeda oil. So he's going. So they're passing through the station, but really they need a bypass, because they don't actually need to go through the station. Reva's oils and bricks do. Ubeda Reva's freight. They do. So the one that doesn't is the Riva Ubeda's oil. So we could really do with a bypass line for that. Now, are we gonna need more platforms? I suppose at this stage it's hard to know, really, isn't it? And where are we going to put this crossover? I mean, I guess it essentially doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is, ooh, look at it's all getting congested around here as well, isn't it? It's all going to tie. This is what happens. This is you identify congestion and bottleneck, and you increase the capacity of the system to handle it. This side needs increased anyway, I think, and will do, because we're now running freight and passenger down here. So what I'm going to do briefly now is I'm going to go in. I'm going to peel off the line for the oil. It doesn't have to go through the station, and that'll clear up. We don't need trains going through a station that aren't stopping. And I'll pass that along the outside and join up here, and then I'll probably have to do a little bit of something around this junction, because it looks like we've got a lot of tracks. Yeah, and we've got tracks there. So this might actually require me to upgrade this whole line from about here to here. And I might have to put 4 all the way, and then I might have to peel this off as a double. So there's a little bit of track building for me to do, and I'm going to get on and do that. But it's important. As you saw, we've got trains, and the trains are now moving. And I know this is a bit of a sidetrack from the Reva's Oils and Bricks thing, but that's okay. There's stuff that needs to be organized, and when it needs to be organized, you just need to get on and organize it. So this guy's waiting. Why is he waiting? So this one's a mystery. Who's this? Is this the Ubeda Reva's Freight? You are waiting on a free path because you are going to the station? No, you're heading back. So again, he only stops at the station one way. So we could clear some of the logjam here by putting some pathing in, but it means we're going to have to upgrade this area here. I don't think we'll have to upgrade the whole line all the way to Ubeda, but you don't know. This is what the hubs are about. We're getting busy. We want to get busy. We want to sort out these log jams, and we want to get more product moving around. That's what it's going to take. So, like I said, I've got a bit of rejiggering to do, so I'm going to get on and do that. And when that's done, I'll bring you back in, right? Jumping in and out, but this is troubleshooting for you. This is part of the game. I'll see you soon. Right, hello, welcome back. Welcome back. Right, so I did that. That's what I did. I did that. It took a little bit of jiggery pokery. It's not the prettiest thing. It's sometimes the lines don't quite match up, and it's not quite as lovely and as well blended as it could be. So I might go back at a later date and do a little bit more in terms of angles and blending and stuff. But it does work, and we do have this rather complicated junction here, but that's fine. And I double lined this like all the way back down here. This is all single for now, which is fine. I don't see there being any issues on that line for the time being, and that's a fairly long stretch. So yeah, so that's that. And as you can see, it's already cleared. It's already cleared. It didn't take that long actually to clear. So we do have a lot of trains moving. So that's going to have further knock-on effects. Things that we're beginning to see here with things like machines that are starting to stack up. We've got tools coming in for tools trucks that need to be sorted out because they're stacking up. I mean, Reva's doesn't need a lot of tools, but I could do with some more, so that's fine. So you go, Reva's is starting to pick up again, which is great. It's got population is soaring, which is very, very good. And if you look down here at our station, you can see now we've got a wider variety of freight. So it's now recognizing that there's an awful lot of stuff here, and there's a lot of things that need to be moved. So we never got around to sorting out Reva's oil and bricks. That's the next thing on my list of things to do. It just took a little bit longer to sort out than I thought. The Villa de Cans Arrecife freight we haven't even got into yet. Coslada oil has significantly come down. Bricks is still fine, although we could probably maybe pick up the bricks a little bit more. Villa de Cans Coslada, so the balance has changed again. So you can see that it's going the other way. So we definitely need more timber than we need steel. So I don't know why that is. That shouldn't be the case. It should be the same. It should be exactly the same. The only thing perhaps is that the steel that we're getting here is we're not keeping up with. So then it's a case of saying, well, these two numbers should be exact. So we're missing 300 steel nearly. So where's my 300 steel coming from? Or where's it, where do I need to go to get that? So that's some more balancing in the chains. So that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be the next little while, is doing things like that. Obviously exciting times. Airfields have come in. So we have airfields. So we can do passenger airfields and we can do cargo airfields, which is jolly good because we have some areas on the map that are fairly remote to each other. Like I said, this place makes machines, and apparently a lot of them, and Colmenar Viejo wants machines. That said, there's some issues with cargo airfields, but we do have passenger airfields. So an airfield outside Arrecife that supplied Ubeda, that wouldn't be a daft idea. We'd need to find somewhere to put it. We'd need to be careful of emissions with airfields. But maybe we'll have a little conversation about airfields another time. Might be the next episode, might not. I'll do a little bit offline, but not a huge amount, because I really feel like this is the nuts and bolts of the game. It's 1925, and this is where, you know, the rubber meets the road, as it were. Balancing these things out and troubleshooting these problems and finding out where, why, and when you're not getting what you're hoping to get. So we might be doing this for a little bit, which I hope it's not putting you off. But when you start looking at it and you see things like this, and you go, oh, right, okay, well that's a problem there. And then you need to redesign some things, because these were designed for steam trains. So the steam trains is out of it now. So we need to start thinking of other things. I haven't obviously done any more sunken passenger stations yet. This is going great guns. 277 people. They're loving it. They are loving it. And Antequera, you're getting a big boost in population there. Because they see this happening. So there's still quite a bit to happen, and there's still quite a bit going on, and there's a lot of things to keep track of. It is quite a juggling act. There's things over here like backlogs of food that we need to contend with and so on, but that is what we're doing. We're going around the map, we're trying to find these bottlenecks. Once we get these bottlenecks ironed out, we'll need to do more stuff, and in between that we'll try and keep going with some development, like attaching another station, another underground station onto Rivas, which is probably the next place that I want to put a passenger station, an underground passenger station. Poor old Palencia doesn't have a passenger station, so they might want one. That should be pretty straightforward, because we've already got the track there, so we just need to basically add them into the system, and they'll be easy as. But there you go. That's all I have time for. I'm sorry to say. I'm sad to report. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me. It's it's interesting once you get into it a little bit. You know, you start digging around in the weeds and start finding out all these little bits and things that you have to resolve, troubleshooting and fixing problems and coming up with new designs. That's all part of the fun. So yeah, thank you for joining me. If you have persevered this far, please click that like button and do subscribe. Neither of those things cost you a penny, and they do help the algorithm in getting my channel out there, so more people can see it and more people can join, and we can have more conversations and we can have more online community stuff. Thank you very much. If you do feel like showing your appreciation in other ways, please do check out membership and super thanks. Until next time, I will see you all again real soon. Ta-ta for now.